I'll keep this brief. Ha! No, actually, I won't. I like the sound of my own voice much too much for that, so get comfortable. Now, I've been thinking, it's a risky pastime, you know? Most people go through life minding their own business, making sure they're not the center of attention. They do something beautiful or perhaps something dreadful, and then they conceal. They dodge the attention, murmur about cooperation, wave a modest little hand, as if they didn't just pull off a miracle or perpetrate a piece of delectable mayhem. It's ludicrous, don't you think? I believe it's silly, and that's really all that matters. So here's a little philosophy for you. A small phrase to chew on, enjoy, spit out, then chew again because it's worth remembering. Always accept credit. Yes, that's right, you heard me. Always take credit. I mean, if you don't, who will? People are far too busy, far too absorbed with their own small issues, their own worthless lives. You think they're gonna look twice at you unless you put up a neon sign with your name in brilliant lights? Ha! Think again. They'll disregard you, stomp over your successes, and leave your finest moments to gather dust if you let them. So I'm here to tell you, don't allow them. Take credit. Make sure the whole world knows who's accountable. Now, let's imagine you're a chemist, a banker, or some cog in a wheel somewhere. You think out a technique to make the wheel spin a little quicker. Brilliant! But then you do the respectable thing, the courteous thing, the dull thing, and you pretend like it was nothing. You downplay it, brush it off, share the praise with those who didn't lift a finger. Why? Out of modesty. Ha! That's the best joke I've ever heard. And believe me, I know a thing or two about humor. Let's be real here. Modesty is a costume you wear when you're too terrified to be seen for who you are. Modesty is a beautiful little mask society provides you and says, wear this. Don't go around scaring the neighbors with all that uniqueness. But you're not terrified, are you? I don't think so. You wouldn't be here listening to this if you were. So listen closely. The fantastic thing you did, it's yours. Don't let anyone steal it from you. In fact, find ways to make sure everyone remembers it was you who made it happen. Print it on a t-shirt if you have to. Tattoo that on your forehead. Because in this world, nobody hands out credit. You have to reach out and get it. Teamwork. You know, I could rant about this all day. People enjoy this idea that great things are achieved by a bunch of altruistic folks, all joining hands and working together, singing Kumbaya. Don't make me laugh. Actually, do. I adore a good laugh. But here's the deal. When was the last time a team really made anything happen? It's always that one individual. The one with the concept. The one with the guts. The one who lays everything on the line to make it real. But when the dust settles, what happens? That one individual is expected to kneel down and say, oh, it was all of us. We did it together. No, no, no. You know, life isn't a school play where everyone receives a ribbon for trying. If you made something happen, you should get the credit. Sure, offer a bone to the others. Thank them for their time. But don't you dare walk away without collecting your due. That, my friends, is where most people fail. They're too terrified of being viewed as selfish. Selfish, they make it sound like a nasty term, like you're doing something wrong by grabbing what's yours. But here's the truth, selfishness is honesty. It's knowing that in the end, the world just cares about results, about who stands up and says, that was me. If you're not selfish enough to do it, then what are you? Another face in the crowd, forgotten, ignored, insignificant. Oh, I know what some of you are thinking. But Joker, you protest, it's not fair to take all the credit. What if someone else assisted me? Boo-hoo. Do you think the people who rule this world care about fairness? Fairness is an illusion they feed you so that you stay quiet, stay in line. Keep hoping that if you're good and modest, others would recognize your achievements. But let me tell you, no one cares about your contributions until you make them care. And you make them care by claiming what's yours. Taking credit isn't just about you. It's for the globe. Because when you claim credit, you ignite a little fire, a tiny spark in the back of people's minds. They start to see you, notice you, recognize what you're capable of. You become someone who matters. And believe me, if you don't make sure others know you matter, they'll assume you don't. So don't be shy. Don't be courteous. Take your rightful spot and make sure they remember your name. Some people find self-promotion unpleasant, repulsive. You know what I think? They're afraid. They're scared of standing out, terrified of stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight. They're scared of their own power, and they want you to be afraid too. But the beauty of being shameless is that it frees you. You don't waste time worrying about what people think. You don't sit around looking for acceptance, asking for recognition. You enter the stage, you grab the microphone, and you make yourself heard. Now, I'm not saying go out and do it with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. There's a craft to this, a precision. You have to show people you deserve credit, make them feel it, make them believe it. It's not about being obnoxious. It's about being unforgettable. Let's imagine you have a talent, a skill, something that sets you apart. Don't you dare hide it. Flaunt it. Show it off. Make sure everyone knows exactly what you contribute to the table. Because if you don't show them, they'll forget. And when they forget, you're just another face in the crowd, just another soul who didn't have the bravery to rise up and say, "That's right. That was me." Now, let's speak about the people who are going to despise this. The critics, the naysayers, the small-minded tiny gnats who will swarm and buzz and try to tear you down. "That's not fair," they'll say. "That's not how things are supposed to work." Well, let me tell you a secret. Those individuals are afraid. They're upset because you're doing what they can't, because you've broken free and they're still locked in their cages. Don't let them stop you. They're going to attempt every trick in the book to make you feel guilty, make you feel humiliated for standing out. But remember, they're not really furious at you. They're mad with themselves. They're upset because they see in you what they wish they had. So what do? Do you step back? Do you hide? Ha! No, of course not. You chuckle and you keep going. You utilize their rage, their irritation as fuel. You let it remind you that you're on the right path, that you're living in a way that's honest, powerful, free. Now here's the juicy bit. Why go through all this difficulty, you ask? Why put yourself out there? Confront the critics. Bear the jealousy. I'll tell you why. Because when you accept credit, you take power. You become the ruler of your own story, the author of your own legacy. The world remembers you. And isn't that what we all want? Deep down? To be remembered? To leave a mark? Think about it. In the end, nobody remembers the quiet ones. Nobody talks about the ones who never dared to stand out. The ones who make history are the ones who claim their position in it. The ones that stand erect and proclaim, "I did this. Me." And that, my friends, is why you always take credit. So there you have it. A simple rule for a complicated world. If you want to matter, if you want to be remembered, if you want to live a life that isn't uninteresting, bland, or forgettable, then remember these 3 tiny words. Always take credit. Make sure people know who you are, what you've done, and why they should never, ever forget it. That's all I've got to say. So what are you waiting for? Go out there and make sure the world knows your name. And remember, don't just stand in the spotlight. Own it.